You're a one-man show and you just can't seem to get to the point where you can bring in a team to take you to the next level. Or maybe you have a small team. Maybe you have 3, 4, 5 people, but every time you're trying to get a little bit more aggressive with your hiring, something falls through the cracks. Everybody can't do what you're doing. You have to babysit, you have to watch everything that they're doing, and you get question after question after question after question after question every single day, and you can't seem to grow because you know you're just going to be inundated with more questions. Hiring more people just ends up being more work on your plate. What's up? My name's Dean Soto, and let's talk about growing a small business to something a little bit bigger, something more of the medium to large size, and how to go about doing that. So I've grown from a small time 1, 2, 3, 4 person business to now we have hundreds of people all around the world who serve hundreds of clients all around the world. And it's a beautiful thing when it all happens without me having to be in the day-to-day. And it wasn't always like that, actually. It was not always like that. So I've been in business since 2009, technically. And for a long time, it was either me, or it was me and max 2, 3 other people. And I couldn't seem to break that barrier for quite some time. And about, I want to say, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, I don't even remember. I built a dropshipping business. It was an Amazon dropshipping business when people said that it was impossible to dropship on Amazon. You couldn't do that. Everyone was all up on doing retail arbitrage and using Amazon FBA and all this other stuff. Anyways, if you're not in that realm, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But let's just say nobody that I knew of was drop shipping on Amazon because they all thought you could not do that Amazon didn't like that. And so I ended up somehow learning how to drop ship, teaching myself how to drop ship on Amazon. And it was interesting because one of the really cool things was that everything was done on a laptop. And so if I could hire people to do what I was doing, I knew I could grow this thing into something huge. And so just by myself, I was doing 7 figures on Amazon, and it was absolutely amazing until it wasn't. I was answering customer emails, I was handling customer refunds, I was having to get new suppliers, and I was adding new listings, and all of this stuff was just becoming more and more and more annoying, and to the point where I just could not handle it. And so I had literally, keep in mind, I had literally made a course on how to sell on Amazon. It was called Dream Dropshipping at the time. And it showed what I thought step by step how to do what I was doing. And so I started hiring people overseas, which I had done before. And I thought, you know what? I thought I can go and hire them, and I would just give them my course. It was all video, and they could just learn how to do what I was doing on my course, right? And then I wouldn't have to do anything. They had literally the step-by-step there. And so I thought that, wow, I was so big brain, and I could get to the point where I had just a whole team working for me and I didn't have to do anything. Well, that's not how it works, my friends. So what I would do is I would hire. I'd find these what I thought were amazing people. I'd tell them, watch Dream Dropshipping. I'm giving you access to all my stuff, and please start doing what I'm doing. I had them finding suppliers and listing products at first. And time again, I would hire people. They'd stay on for about a month, and then they would leave. I would have to hire people. It takes about a month to figure out who to go through and sift through these people again. I'd hire them, they'd be amazing, and then they would leave. And I could not figure out why I kept on losing people. And ultimately, it was because they were so confused as to what was expected of them. They would go through the videos, but the videos were taught like a course. They were taught very high level overview. It wasn't super step by step. And it was not what you would use as an instruction manual for your actual team. And so eventually I realized the secret of going from a small business to a medium-sized business. In fact, I still was a quote-unquote small business with my drop shipping, but it got to the point where it's completely automated. I did not have to do anything with it. I had my team doing stuff with it, and so I could just focus on other things, building other consulting. I could do a consulting business. I could do an outsourcing business. I had all these other things that I could do. Anyway, I digress. So ultimately, what changed the game for me was the concept of creating standard operating procedures, systems, processes, and so on and so forth, which I've talked about in other videos. It's not super sexy, but it's really the only way to go from small business to that medium-sized business that everyone craves. To go from really having a job where people are depending on you. They're constantly asking questions back and forth, and you just can't get to that next level where you are just seeing your business do its thing, and you're able to mentor people and grow people, and you're able to have more clients being served by a team of people. That is how powerful systems, processes, and actual documentation can be. So that said, these are the secrets, the simple secrets, and it really is simple. If you do what I say, you will have a business that absolutely thrives and grows from small to medium and ultimately to large if you want to, right? So, rule number 1, nobody can read your mind, so you must document what it is that you do into a step-by-step procedure, okay? So there are several really good books out there. There's The E-Myth, there's Clockwork, but if you really want that aha moment, I highly, highly recommend that you go and check out the book called Work the System. It is probably the Bible of how to create systems and how to think in systems and why you want to think in this way, and then ultimately how to put them into working procedures. Okay. So when I'm saying systems and process and so on and so forth, think of it like this. I have this iPhone. Cool iPhone 14. Awesome, right? There's a little camera here, or a big camera compared to how things are. In that camera, there's a lens. The lens has its own little system. The outside of the lens has its own little system, little parts, little things of what it does. And then the camera itself has its own little system. The camera system is comprised of smaller little subsystems, such as the lens, such as the flashlight right there, the little LED light, such as all of these other little tiny things that are considered subsystems. And this is where I have never seen another book talk in this way, okay? Where you perfect each little subsystem in the overall system of the camera. If it's perfect, if each little subsystem is perfect, the system as a whole is going to be perfect, okay? And so how does this translate to your business? Let's think about your lead generation system, okay? So maybe you have ad campaigns that are going out. Maybe you have organic social media campaigns going out. Maybe you have organic Google stuff going out. You have what happens when people sign up for your email. You have all these little systems, right? that comprise of the overall, these are subsystems that comprise the overall system of your lead generation system. So if you're able to document how you create leads for Facebook, you go and you get stock photos. First thing you do is you go to business.facebook.com or meta business. Whatever, however they call it now. I don't even know what they call it now. And next you go and do this, and then you do this, and then you do this, then you do this, and step by step, boom, 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 boom. You now have documented that entire subsystem for creating ads on Facebook. And then you go to how we do our system of social media lead generation, our organic social media. So how we post on Instagram. We do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you go down the line on Instagram. Then you go down the line on LinkedIn. Then you go down the line on Twitter. Then you go down the line on whatever. Boom, that subsystem's done. You do that with all of these subsystems, and now, boom, you have the entire system of your lead generation system documented, where somebody can take that over. Anybody really in your business can take that over. Some will be better than others, but at least it'll always get done. You might have the janitor who is the only one who could do it because everyone else is sick, and you say, hey, Steve, we need you to come over here, and here's the documentation on how to start running ads on Facebook. I need you to read this and do this. As long as he can read, we're good to go, okay? Because that's how detailed this is, okay? So, which leads me to number 2. Everything must be documented. Everything must be documented, not video. You can have images, but it should be documented into a book or on Google Drive in separate folders, whatever, okay? Documented so that the janitor who does not have access to your computer, you print out how to run an ad campaign on Facebook. Boom, here, Steve, I need you to run an ad campaign. I'm going to be on vacation. Do the best you can. Here's the step-by-step. Literally, you can do that. We have clients whose, I'm not joking, have neighbor kids down the street come, and they gave them their standard operating procedures on how to fix computers in the garage, and the neighbor kid took it, saw how to do it, and started fixing computers. No joke. Started fixing the computers and did a better job than this one technician that the guy had hired before. Okay. That's how powerful it can be, right? So everything must be documented step by step in documentation. This is why I love that book, Work the System. I have no affiliation to Sam Carpenter. In fact, I tried to get him on my podcast a long time ago, and that bastard did not. He said he was going to be on it, and then he decided not to be on it. So Sam, we're not friends anymore. Okay. I don't even think he knows I exist. Who cares? Which leads me to number 3 is that your goal always, as the business owner, always should be, and I did not coin this term, this came from one of my clients named Richard Matthews. Your goal should always be to be aggressively lazy. Okay. Your goal, the work that you should be doing almost at all times is creating documented systems, creating these systems and processes, these documented systems and processes for your people in a standard operating procedure, step by step, documented, listed out step by step how to do what it is you do, so that you never have to do that thing ever again. I would rather you spend 10 hours doing that, 10 hours on one process, on one system, getting that documented, so that you can hand that off to somebody else, then you never have to do that again, then doing 10 hours of that thing. Because yes, you may feel super productive that you did that task that you should not be doing in the first place. You did that task. Maybe it's running ads on Facebook, setting up ads on Facebook. You may feel like you were super productive, but you're going to have to do it again, and you're going to have to do it again, and you're going to always have to do that. But if you spent the hours documenting and showing exactly what you do, now you can give that to somebody else to do, and you can sit back and go, okay, Let's split test now. Let's be more creative. I can be strategic. I use those extra hours, those extra 10 hours a week. Let's just say it took you 10 hours, and now I can use that extra 10 hours a week to go make more sales, to go and develop a new lead generation thing, whatever it might be. The hours that you spend documenting your processes, documenting your systems, the hours that you do that, is you are creating an asset that pays you while you sleep, because somebody else can do it. And that sounds crazy, I know, but every hour that you spend documenting that system, documenting that process into something step by step, every hour that you spend, you are investing that hour into something that will pay you while you sleep. And when you go on vacation, the revenue doesn't dry up because you aren't there. Okay? Revenue doesn't dry up because somebody else is doing what you're doing. It's the only way that you can empower a team. It's the only way you can have managers, because the managers need to know how to delegate, and the way that they delegate is because the processes are already there. They already know how to run ads. They already know customer service. They already know onboarding. They already know these things, and they can simply say to their team, here's the process for onboarding. Here's the process for lead generation. Here's the process for this. And now they can watch their team do it. This is how Elon Musk has over 10 businesses. Jeff Bezos has over 10 businesses. Bill Gates has over 10 businesses. They document everything, and the company culture is a culture of documenting all of these procedures as well. Every single one. That's why every manager knows how to give performance reviews. Every manager knows how to not only do their job, but how to delegate jobs, because it's documented. It's not sexy, but that's how you do it, step by step. So be aggressively lazy. Use your time the way that you should, and that is by documenting everything that you're doing, and then making your guys document everything they're doing. And eventually you'll have a business that can scale because everybody knows how to do their job without having to come to you for questions or come to the manager for questions every single freaking day. All right, this is Dean. That's how you grow a business. That's how we went from literally one to 5 people to literally hundreds, and hitting the Inc. 5000 in 2022. So that's how you do it. That's how you grow. And I want to see you do it. And I'd love to hear your story.